Yo, it's Get Blueshelled podcast number 55. I had to look that up. How is everybody doing today?
Ready to rock.
It's been a while. It's been a while since we last recorded. That's my fault. I've been so busy with everything, which it should hopefully calm down a little bit moving forward. But I hope you guys have been doing well.
Yeah, of course.
I'm doing great.
And they're a little busy, but always time to hang out, talk a bit.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I know. Today is going to be on the little bit of a shorter side just because we have so much stuff we have to get done. I'm exhausted, but we do have stuff to talk about, so let's just dive right into it. So first and foremost, I just want to talk about Xenoblade Chronicles X because it's been about a month now since we've had this game in our hands. Now, Mike still hasn't bought it. Can I ask why, Mike?
Honestly, I've just been playing other things. Like, we'll get to it, but I've been playing like Expedition 33. Like, I've been waiting for that game. I knew it was coming soon. And then I was still playing Final Fantasy Rebirth that I just finished. So it was like, as much as I love Xenoblade, and part of the reason is at this point, we'll go into the pre-orders as well, but now that I'm getting a Switch 2, I might as well just wait for it, you know, even if it's not like a Switch 2 version.
It'll definitely run better.
It'll still run better.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Plus, there's more games to play on my Switch 2. So it's like, there was no rush for me as much as I love Xenoblade, and I do still plan to get it. And it was just a little poor timing on my personal end.
Yeah, 100%. I think my mic actually might be peaking. So Ryan, I'm gonna leave this up to you for a second. My question for you is, you've been playing Xenoblade X with me. We tried multiplayer one time. I just want to get your quick overview. We haven't beaten the game so far. We're actually both at about the same point. What, chapter 8 now?
Chapter 8 or 9, yeah.
Yeah, I think I just beat chapter 8, and I think Ryan's going into chapter 8.
Yeah, going into chapter 8, you're like level 31 or 2. I'm 31, 32. So like we're essentially in the same exact spots.
Okay, cool. So I guess my question for you is, what is the biggest difference for you? Because you played the Wii U version as well. So like, what's the biggest difference for you that you've noticed since you played the new version?
I mean, definitely the quality of life updates. Obviously, the biggest one that you can, no pun intended, see is like the text. I mean, the UI, the text is a lot more digestible. It's not like you don't have to like zoom in. It's not
so
tiny.
much better.
So it's much more better of a user experience. So the UI is great. They made some other good quality of life updates to the game in terms of some of the like the menu, fashion gear, some other options. Obviously, a big one in terms of gameplay is now the quick arts like recharge. That green bar.
So much better. It makes combat feel amazing.
Combat feels so good, even in the early game, because technically for Xenoblade X, the combat didn't get really exciting until you got like overdrive, and then you got a skell. But now that you get quick change or quick art recharge, like in chapter 2 or 3, the game feels pretty spiffy and quick, and it's fun to play. So those are some of the good changes that I noticed. The game, I think, has really great combat. It's really fun. I have some other thoughts / hesitancies, but I thought those are the things that I've noticed, but I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, and I don't want to spend too much time on this just because I know Mike hasn't played it, but I do have some thoughts as well. So overall, game is really fun. And the funny part too is when I played the original Xenoblade X, I guess I just never looked anything up. And I was missing, like, I didn't do any of my skills. I didn't do any of my abilities. I didn't have any class points in. So at one part, the game just became so hard, I just couldn't progress anymore. And I just couldn't figure it out. So I thought all I had to do was like grind mobs. And it turns out I just had to like use the talent tree system and it was fine. So going into it this time, I, hey Jen, this time I went in like guns blazing. And I, picked the tree that I wanted to play. I leveled it up, and like the game feels way easier. But I also don't know if part of that is just due to the fact that what's that system called with the quick attacks again?
Like
the yellow bar.
Yeah, like the quick art recharge.
Yeah, the quick art recharge. Like I don't know if it's just that made combat feel better, but like just overall the game just feels better to play. I also didn't realize that like the game, I don't know, like I think I didn't really fully understand how to build out the map percentage in the original X, because now I feel like I am exploring and actually getting the map percentages up like way faster than I did before. The biggest surprise to me, and I can't compare it to the original game because I never got one in the original game, but the skells and the skell combat. So Ryan, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that, because that was like the one thing I wanted to do in the original X, right? Get the scale, do the combat, the NGE skins. This time,
Purple and green, baby. Yeah.
actually, I went for alligator this time. There's no NGE skin. Maybe I'll buy another scale. But yeah, one thing that I noticed is that the combat is really strong in the scale to the point that like it's not even worth fighting outside your scale. Have you noticed that yet?
I think it depends because I feel like some of the stacking you can do with some of the arts when you're just fighting on the ground is actually sometimes better. I've seen, and I know people go crazy with this game. They have crazy builds. They're one-shotting super bosses.
That's crazy.
Like you can do certain things outside your scale, and you can like one-shot some of the best enemies in the game. So while I feel like the scales are very strong, I do agree that like the scale fighting just feels like it goes pretty quick, just because you can just get hit for a lot of damage. But also outside your scale is pretty good too.
I remember seeing like a top 5 list of like, strongest Xenoblade characters. You know, of course you had to click on that.
Yeah, of course.
And it was like, I forgot who was the top. So it was like you see Rex there from Xenoblade 3. Slight spoilers, I guess. Like he was like top of the list. I'm like, oh yeah, like I thought he was number 1. He's like the most powerful. Like I think it was like 2 or 3 on the list. And the number 1 was the Xenoblade X main character.
Oh, the main character?
Like,
that's funny.
You're like, it's not even a competition. Like, it's not even close. Like, yeah, like Shulk might be like have the power of God on his side.
That's
but,
so funny.
The main character can one shot these super bosses.
That's funny. Yeah. I will say, like, it's fun. I like the way that the scale changes the abilities depending on what you equip. But my issue is that I just feel like it's almost too boring, and because it feels so strong if you get certain upgrades, like I had this one AoE ability that would just bring everything down to half health in like one hit. It just kind of felt like, why am I gonna go on my sniper, you know? So maybe it's just a build that I'm playing. Mike, how far did you get in the original Xenoblade X?
I beat it.
That's why I'm
did?
not
really like in a 2 rush to like get this one because I already like did everything. I don't think I 100%ed it, but I definitely beat the game for sure. And I got really, really far on all the side stuff.
Yeah, see, like Jen says, I overthink anything with the skill tree. Yeah, I'm kind of at that point too as well. But I do feel like this skill tree in particular is actually not too bad because you don't lose any points. You're not committed to anything. I think the class tree is the only thing you can't take points out of, but a lot of the points overlap. So it's really not too bad. And I like the fact that with the skills and the arts, I don't know if it was like this in the regular game. Ryan, please correct me. But I know in this game, you could take the points out whenever you want. So if you have 500 points unlocked for your one character, you could just take them all out and rebuild whenever you want. I don't know if that was in the original.
Yeah, a lot of games have been doing that lately. And Nicole, you obviously can speak more to this because you played, old school WoW, and maybe back in the day, games did not let you do that.
They didn't want you to.
Because Mike, that was the thing in Rebirth as well. With the skills tree in Rebirth, like if you're working on Cloud's tree or Tifa's tree or whatever, you can like reset the tree and you can reallocate your points if you want to. So a lot of games have been giving you that customizable.
Yeah, they're very generous. I guess they don't really see a reason anymore to like lock you in, especially for like a single player game, which makes sense, I
think it was an artificial trick back in the day.
Yeah. And
I think it's just people have realized that too many games have allowed you to have that level of customization. It's also like, not to get too philosophical, and I know this is slightly off tangent, but I think gamers back in the day were a different breed than today. Like, gaming is very casual nowadays. Yeah. Like, overall, of course, you're going to have your hardcore esports games, but, like, gaming overall is pretty casual nowadays. Back in the day, if you were a gamer, you were, like, a hardcore nerd, and you were going online and, like, looking up everything, and you were, like, you had a different brain, right? That's what attracted you to games back then. So I think that's also just, like, a showing of the change of times, because, like, you're right, Ryan, WoW's a perfect example. Where back in the day, there were class trees. They were simple, but once you used the point, you had to pay to reset it, and it heavily punished you for resetting it. Now, and then you could also pick the one, you only had one save slot. Now, you can respec for free and have all of the specs unlock, all the different classes and everything. So it's like you can easily swap with no repercussions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. No, I think that level, and you know what? Actually, that takes me to my one. One of my big criticisms, or just a general criticism, is that there is a lot of customizability.
Mm-hmm.
And Nicole, you've played more MMORPGs, like you're more used to just like the scale of some of this stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like for me, my problem with Xenoblade X is not that, like, because obviously there's a ton to do. The story is very simple. Like you actually enjoy the game more if you do more side quests because they flesh out the characters, you get more arts and skills. So they really encourage you.
I did like that.
You should basically every chapter I beat, I then take like a couple play sessions and just solely do side stuff, build up my party, and then I'll go back out. But my biggest problem, honestly, is that I just think there's just too much.
Yeah.
And the problem is like, maybe I know we're all older now than we played it 10 years ago, and we all have less time. I just like there's arts, there's skills, there's classes, there's augments for your weapons, which I didn't even realize.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either until like halfway through the game. I was like, oh geez.
Then there's scale armor, scale gear. There's just so much, and I just don't have the patience to really understand it all. So that's why when you mentioned, Nicole, that like, oh well, so, you know, sometimes I hit a wall because like it got too tough. Like I hope I actually have been paying attention and I can kind of build up my party. And I haven't struggled like that much. I had like maybe one or two like, you know, tough fights, but hopefully I can beat the main story without much problem because there just is so much in this game.
Yeah.
And I just don't have the patience to kind of understand it all. And then people are online like, here's how you properly utilize this class.
I was just going to say, can I just say one more thing too, going back to like the philosophical side of things? Even just 10 years ago, right? 2015. I know that sounds like I remember 2015, like, you know, I was working back then. The game came out, the Wii U wasn't that long ago. It's like, you think about it, and even back then, I don't know if you guys actually went out of your way trying to find information on Xenoblade X, but like, I never once went online trying to be like, let me find an optimal build, you know?
Yeah, but I feel like it rewards you, at least from my memory, to do like your own thing, you know?
I agree, and I think that that's what's great. So like, a small counterpoint to what you're saying, Ryan, but I do agree with you because it gets overwhelming. Like at a certain point, I'm just like, hey, like, I want to level up my class, get the best gear that I can get, but I don't want it to be like I have to sit here in a calculator and figure out. It should be relatively simple or like a very easy decision. So like, okay, this one increases my auto attack damage, but this one increases how fast I attack. You know, something like that. Like that to me is like, that's a fun thing to think about, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway,
like,
go
honestly,
back.
Ryan, sorry, Ryan, to your point, another big reason I get into Xenoblade is honestly because of like all the stuff I had to do in Rebirth. Like I said, I was gonna do all side stuff, and then I did all side stuff, and then I was trying to get like the good weapons and get the right materia, and then like all this. And I can't do this again for Xenoblade, especially if I like want to go into X33.
And I will say this too. I think leveling up, none of that's important. So I do think that leveling up, like Ryan and I finishing the game, like we can do whatever. I don't have anything. I think I augmented one weapon, and I'm still clearing things without an issue. And I think there's only 12 chapters in the game, and I'm on chapter 9. Like, I have not had a single issue. But I think that's more of like an end game thing. So like,
yeah, it usually is.
So like, part of me is like, okay, it's a little overwhelming while I level, but I know at the end game, that's like something I could really customize. But I also can just go on Google and search it and find the best builds. And it's like, I don't know. For me, for a game like this, I would probably just do whatever I want and try to figure it out on my own.
Yeah.
Versus like if I'm playing WoW or something, like I'm gonna go online and find the most optimal build.
Well, the whole thing about these type of RPGs, and like I mostly feel it with like Bravely Default and Octopath, where it's like you see the lines to like break the game, right?
Yeah.
Or not break it or whatever you want to call it, to like build optimally, and it feels good. It's like doing a puzzle, right? Like it's good. You finally got all your skill points, you leveled up, you did all this, and now you finally get okay, what can I do to make this game like really good and like make this perfect build that suits my play style and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I feel like you don't really need to look online to get that same satisfaction.
Yeah, that's kind of been my thing lately with games, is just approaching it that way. I don't want to spend too much more time on Xenoblade because we have other stuff to discuss, but we do have to talk about one thing, Ryan, about Xenoblade. After 10 years, we finally got the multiplayer to work.
Yeah, I will say, because we didn't talk about that last time because we hadn't started yet. No, finally we figured it out. Once you figure it out, it's actually not that bad at all, honestly.
I do think it's because they changed the way it works, but
well, they created a whole new user menu for it, which made it a bit easier. But yeah, we did some quests, not quests. We did some like battles.
It was like a
together.
mini boss scenario.
Yeah, like when we were like level 14, and now that we're back at the same level, we could try to do some more, and also
Definitely
maybe some endgame bosses. But like, it's much more easier to like get with your party and go fight like a boss together. We tried the super boss; it obviously didn't go well, but
that was hard.
At least you can do it now, which is really good.
Yeah,
Do you guys find yourselves? doing builds for each other. Like, oh, like Nicole's gonna be like the tank, and then
A
Ryan's
little
gonna be,
bit. Yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit. We tried doing that. I think again at level 14, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think my goal with this is I'm gonna beat the game. I'm gonna mess a little bit around with the end game content. I would like to do the end game multiplayer content if I have a group of people, but I don't care enough to do it with randoms. So I think if like the 4 of us want to play, then like cool, I'll do some end game content, and then I'll try to like get some of the augments and stuff like that. Maybe finesse a build, and I would pick something that like I don't want to have 2 snipers. So if somebody else wants to play sniper, maybe I'll go tank or something. And I do think again that's like more of an end game thing. But,
like, oh no, we're fighting the super boss. We really gotta like
we need a tank or
we
support.
need a healer. We need like this and that.
Cool. All right. Well, then let's move on to the next topic. Let's talk quickly, because I know there's a lot we could say about the Switch 2 pre-order situation. So we all got Switches here, thank God. Oh,
Yes.
hi, Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, Alex.
We all got Switches, thank God. Actually, partially due to Alex as well.
Yeah.
Partially, but due to both of you. So
Yeah, actually, thank God Alex and I were able to secure Ryan a Switch. He actually didn't get lucky. He wasn't able to get one, but I got one for him.
You didn't get the raffle.
Mike, where did you end up ordering from?
Target. We got pretty lucky there.
So you and Alex got Target. I got Walmart, which I actually have a funny story. And then Ryan, we got Best Buy for you?
you got Best Buy, yeah.
Yeah. So like for me, basically, at like 11:30, I opened up links to each of the websites and I just sat there and I said, every few minutes I'll refresh it. And as we were getting closer and closer to 12, we're trying to like figure out like, well, which cards do we use? Like what's not going to get flagged by the bank? Like that whole big thing. And I all of a sudden something on my page, it popped up and said like, are you a robot? And I'm like, no. So I clicked on it, blah, 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 like the little captcha thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, cool. This was at like maybe 11:45 and the pre-orders go live at midnight. And at like 11:56, I was like, let me just hit the refresh button. I hit the refresh button and it puts me in a queue and it says 18 minutes. And I'm like, so I'm already in the queue. They put it up early. I'm like, and I'm in the queue. So I told Alex immediately and Ryan, I'm like, you guys need to hit refresh. They both refreshed it and they were put into a separate queue.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, this is a very busy item. You may not get it. And I'm like,
What do you mean I don't get it?
I got so lucky.
By the way, I also never got like it took me like half the night, and by the way, we were up, late that night. Like it took me half the night to get past the freaking robot click.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to do the I'm not a robot hold down click, and it just was not going for me. So that was bad. Then I'm happy Mike and Alex got theirs through Target, because Target was the one that I actually got the farthest in from this jump. I got all the way to like, here's your card, here's your address, check out. And then I kept getting, and Alex had the same problem, I kept getting stuck at the final click, and it's like, oh, there's an internal error with the site. And I never got past that on Target. And then Walmart, had the robot issue, and then Best Buy. And by the way, one thing we should mention as well, Best Buy went live half an hour later. They said, psych, we're not putting it up until 12:30.
I know, and that's what saved us. If Best Buy didn't go up a half hour later, we wouldn't have gotten Ryan a Switch.
I know.
So let's do a quick tier ranking, okay? Who was the best to order from and who was the worst? So obviously, I think Walmart, if you were able to get into Walmart, was the best experience, because the other thing too is once you got out of that queue, you had 10 minutes to check out. Yeah. So it was kind of like reserved for you. So I was easy, like, oh, here's my credit card information, blah, blah, blah. Then I actually low-key think it was Best Buy, because Best Buy's queue system also worked.
No, those were the two.
I like the free-for-all of Target.
Mike, oh my God, no!
I'm not even just saying that because that's where I got it from. So here's my logic here.
Okay.
Walmart is like the 1% in my eyes. It's like they chose their favorites. Like,
yes,
if you
they did.
Favorite of Walmart, you're done. Like, not even
I have previously ordered from Walmart. I don't know if that made a difference.
Maybe. You never know. So you're the 1%. You ordered from Walmart before. They recognize that. They stick with their own. Good on them. But it's like I got in the queue for Walmart, and it felt like the most progress at the time. And I'm like, okay, like that's the one. It's gonna be Walmart. I'll do the other stuff. But I appreciated as much as you could appreciate this Target being like, all right, you got to the end. All you have to do is press place order as fast as you can. And I was with Mr. Moxie Mess. We were hanging out in person with a couple of our other friends, and I think he's the one that said one of our friends was just playing competitive Pokemon Go, just tapping place
Oh
order
my
on
god, you're right. Only the Pokemon Go players were able to secure a Switch too. That's
so
funny.
it's really just that. Like keep trying to go and place order.
Yeah, no, you're crazy. No, I hated Target, but Target wasn't even the worst.
Don't get me wrong, I agree.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah. So then Target was like the third worst because like I'm happy it worked for Mike, but then again for a lot of people they just kept getting stuck at like that final checkout. But like you said, that wasn't the worst. GameStop was the next day.
GameStop
was it went down before the pre-orders went up, and I heard they sold out before the pre-orders went up. I heard that if you were on the app and you were a pro member, you got to order a half hour early. I don't know how true that claim is, but people were saying on the Switch subreddit that you didn't even get a chance to pre-order it online. The only people that apparently pre-ordered it were through the app. I saw a Reddit post that somebody needed to change their shipping address with Walmart, but Walmart canceled their order instead of just change. Oh, that's scary. Yeah. Did you guys also get the credit card bank fraud alert?
Yes.
Yes, I think I got that one.
Yeah, I'm like, I hope this is from my bank because I'm approving it, so I can't take a chance.
Hacking your credit cards the same day you get in the Switch too, like they just know. They'll approve anything.
You would think like these bank companies, like they know this pre-order is gonna happen at night. Like, and not to be like, oh, Nintendo's on everybody's radar, but I feel like this is a bit like banks keep track of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you would think so.
It was just weird.
Someone's not doing their job.
So last question, did you guys get the bundle or the regular?
The Mario Kart bundle. Honestly, I know like I shouldn't say this because it's probably not true, but I'm like, I don't know if I would have got the Switch 2 without the Mario Kart bundle.
No, I mean it's
probably
fair.
Not true. I'd have felt so bad though.
No, I mean it's fair. And here's the thing: is like I don't want to pay $80 for Mario Kart. I'd rather just get the bundle, and I know I'm gonna play it.
You know you're getting Mario Kart. It's like I know it's like $30 at the end of the day or whatever it is with tax, I guess.
I mean, I was at the point where if I had to buy the Switch by itself and then buy Mario Kart separately, I actually was prepared to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's the only game that people are gonna be playing on launch day, and it's multiplayer. I'm like, and I do like Mario Kart, so I'm like, you know what? I'll pick it up.
Like I could see us all like getting on that night and having like a good like party night.
Well, Ryan will be at a wedding, so that's not gonna happen.
Oh, sorry.
And then I'm going to our cousin's wedding that he won't be at. So.
Well, here's the thing. So, and I got the bundle thanks to Nicole.
You're gonna bring Mario Kart.
I got the bundle.
I want to bring it to the wedding.
Yeah, I'm considering the same thing as well. So it comes out June 5th. That's a Thursday. Now, obviously, the other elephant in the room is that Nintendo has gone on record saying, "Oh, thank you for all the the love and attention. We are very pleased with the Switch 2 pre-orders. There's higher demand than we expected, so we can't guarantee that you'll get it like right away or like so." I hope we all get it launch day because we all now have one and we haven't gotten any emails yet saying it's gotten canceled.
Yeah.
And I know we've been talking. It would not surprise me if we still don't get it like on launch day, but I leave for the wedding I'm going to that Saturday. So I'm hoping that I will get a chance to play it either Thursday or Friday before I leave on Saturday for the wedding.
I will say this. I think that I could be wrong, but I believe that Nintendo statement is actually for the Nintendo pre-orders, not the retailers.
For Nintendo pre-orders.
Yeah, I believe so. The retailers have their own stock. And then Nintendo has their own stock, and Nintendo is only pre-ordering the stock that they have, like from their warehouses, and that's the one that's coming out in May for the pre-order.
May 8th.
Yeah. So I think that was my understanding. I feel like the retailers would have said that if it was a retailer shipping issue, but yeah. Either way, I'm excited for it. And really quick, that Mario Kart World Direct, it could have been an email, but I'm also going to be honest with you. I actually kind of liked it. It was a quick 15-minute like
see new things.
Yeah. Like Mike,
information with you this more, but still.
I was gonna say, but Mike, did your opinion change at all when you watched the direct? Because I know you were always like, I want it, but I'm not like super excited about it.
I mean, okay, the thing is, I am excited about it just because it's Mario Kart. I just like the competitive side in me is just like I don't want to drive straight and get hit by a blue shell.
Get Blueshelled.
Blueshelled. I don't want to get Blueshelled on my straightaway, but the direct did help my opinion a lot, and especially the treehouse that changed me basically completely. Be like, all right, there is complicated courses, there is like a lot more, and then when they showed off like the grinding on the rails, the wall run thing, I'm like, okay, like there's a lot of cool mechanics they're doing too, and even just like the jumping on its own.
Yeah, I do agree that first initial trailer that they released, like I personally didn't notice anything about the courses, but after you said something, I went back and I watched it, and I was like, yeah, actually, these courses are pretty linear. But I think they did that. Now that I think back, I think they did it on purpose because I think they wanted you to see, hey, look at all the new cast, look at the new carts,
Yes,
look at the new your rail riding or whatever. So I could see that because I agree with you. That treehouse won me over because I was like, listen, I know I'm gonna get it, so I don't care. Yeah. But then when I saw the treehouse, I was like, no, I need this like yesterday.
Yeah. Well, the treehouse is better than the Rex.
100%.
But I do agree with Mike, though. I feel like it's going to be very cool for the first time to have the Grand Prix where you're driving from track to track, like any intermission. I think that will be very cool at first. I definitely see Mike's point where it's like when you do the regular Grand Prix and basically lap 1 and lap 2 are you racing to the next course, it is, like Mike is saying, basically a straight line. So I can see where that gets a little boring. And then obviously lap 3 of that course is the actual course. Now, obviously, you can also, they showed in the direct, you can do versus mode like always, where you can make the track like Peach Beach, you can make that course the standard like 3 laps. And like that's where, like Mike is saying, you'll have the course, it'll have the alternate paths, you can do the rail grinding, the tricks. That I think will be very fun. And I think I'm the most excited for the knockout tour, like the battle royale mode, where like, you know, the knockout, like every lap it knocks out like 4 people. That'll be very fun.
That's gonna be fun for streaming.
And obviously when we all hang out and play together, like even online, having the free roam where we can explore the world together will be also very fun.
Yes.
But I do see Mike's point for sure though, where it's like, I think Grand Prix at first will be fun, but if I'm putting like, you know, 30, 40, 50, 60 hours into this game, am I going to want to drive in a straight line to the next course? Probably not. I'll probably do another mode. I wonder
if like the later cups will be like, okay, like it's a straight line, but you're like weaving through traffic or other stuff.
That's a good point, Mike.
So it definitely did make me show that like, okay, here's like some of the later courses, and now there's like proof that things could be more complicated. It's not just like, like not to like harp on Scarlet and Violet because it's so different, but it's not like, oh, here's like this big world we have, and you go into it, it's like, oh, it's just running straight in Pokemon pop.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. I'm actually, so like the one thing I'm a little less excited about is the open world part of it. That being said, I think that is way more fun with friends.
Exactly.
So I think it depends what they'll hide in the world. Like if we're able to 3 of us go in the world and be like, oh my god, I found like a blue switch over here, and you get all that and unlocks a character, like that'll be
fine. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna try my best to like avoid spoilers and like I don't know. I mean, it's up to you guys, but if you wanted to wait to like play it all together, I'd also be down for something like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, I don't know when the Target pre-order is coming. It could be like a week after, for all I know.
Yeah, for Target, who knows? Brawlic John says, I'm only here to tell Forlenza he is so insanely attractive. Like, all the jokes aside, if Brad Pitt and Jesus had a baby, it still wouldn't be as cute as Forlenza. Oh my god. Well, thank you, John, for the sub, but also thank you for that very flattering
I miss you. Let's hang out soon.
I know, I miss John.
Oh my gosh.
All right, cool. So let's wrap up Mario Kart because there's also another game that kind of came out of nowhere that we want to talk about. So obviously everybody's talking about Expedition 33. Mike, I think you're the only one who's played it here.
Yeah, I even put it, it's going to be my game of the year. I'm calling it now.
Wow. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked with the reception it's getting, but okay, so
good.
Tell me what is so refreshing about the game.
It's just like, okay, this is a good segue from what we talked about before with like Xenoblade and just other RPGs where you have all this stuff going on, you have all this tedious stuff, and I guess the biggest like takeaway from what you guys told me there is the game doesn't like always like respect your time. I'm going to phrase it that way. I felt that way a lot with Rebirth as well. I was telling Ryan where it's like, oh my god, like I gotta run to another tower to find
it's so annoying,
and I feel like I don't get enough out of it. But I want to like complete everything. Expedition 33, at least I'm still only like 5 hours in. It respects your time completely. Like everything I do feels worth it. The combat's fantastic. Oh my Ryan, the music, I have to send you track. It's
I heard it's dude, I heard the guy was found off SoundCloud.
Was he?
Yeah.
Wow,
that's crazy.
I was wondering, I'm like, who is this guy?
He's like a random guy.
The music fits all. The theme of the game is so good. Like it sucks you in right away.
Are you playing on PC?
No, I'm playing on PS5 because I want to play on the big screen.
Okay, fair.
Like I was playing on the big screen, and it's always like, oh my god, this music! Like she walks in from the other room, she's like, what is this?
Yeah.
It's everything's really good. Even like even like the combat, like there's a lot of customization to do with it too. Yeah, I don't really want to spoil too much because it's definitely worth experiencing on your own. The voice cast is fantastic. They got Charlie Cox from Daredevil as the main
That's
guy.
crazy.
I don't know how they did that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy to me is I feel like I didn't hear about this game until 2 days before when Game Pass announced that it was going to be on the Game Pass, and I was like, everybody's talking about Oblivion, right? And all of a sudden people were like, yeah, but like that Expedition 33 game's coming out, and I'm like, dude, I've never heard of this, like whatever. But then I kept seeing it, and I'm like, is this a AAA game that I just haven't heard about? And I'm like, no, it seems like an indie game. So I watched the trailer for it, and I'm surprised I haven't seen anything about it.
Yeah, it's tough. Sorry, keep going.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, it looks really good.
Yeah.
I just don't want. I'm kind of. It's a conversation for another day, but I'm kind of done with PC gaming at the moment.
Yeah, that's it.
So I'm hoping it comes to Switch too, and then I'll probably pick it up.
Yeah.
But what were you gonna say?
It's sort of. I think they revealed it like probably like a year or so ago.
Yeah.
That was it. Okay, then a year or so ago, and I'm like, this game looks incredible. Like I was so hooked on it right away, and like it was always in the back of my mind. But I remember like seeing online people are like, oh, it's basically an indie studio that's doing it. Like they never did like a full published AAA game before. They have this ambition, but like it's probably gonna flop. Yeah, this music's good, but like
Yeah, the music's good, but it's gonna flop.
it's gonna flop. Like who knows?
That's
and then
fine.
like once they announced Oblivion basically coming out, they like, oh, the game's dead. Like that's it. Like Oblivion's gonna take it over. And then I'm so happy it's doing as well as it does because it deserves everything. Like it's a total hit from like the studio.
I
And
can't
I
wait.
think they announced like a movie deal that they want to do. Like
Yeah.
they want to do with it. And I'm like,
it's already become a
it's gonna
movie,
be
yeah.
so good. It's gonna be like
I'm so psyched.
I'm gonna see that first night of the movies.
No,
So
I'm excited.
I hope they don't follow the game. To be honest, I hope they do like their own side story. But even if they follow the game, it's still really good.
Ryan, what are
Yeah.
your thoughts?
So, I mean, honestly, I'm the same way as Mike, where I remember seeing this like a year ago. And it's like, hey, and by the way, I will say, because I think Nicole has always gone on record saying, open world's becoming like too much, like where everything's open world nowadays. I think the pendulum is now starting to swing back, where a lot of games are trying to do something like, new and fresh, or even go back to like turn-based. Because obviously, like, this is getting great reviews. Baldur's Gate got great reviews. People obviously love like Balatro, like the card game. So I think the more classic stuff, like turn-based, like classic games, are starting to make a resurgence, because I think everything now is open world and it's gotten too like it's proliferated too much.
Yeah.
But like Mike, I remember seeing this like a year ago and saying, "Oh wow, this looks really cool. It's a turn-based action RPG, turn-based RPG, but kind of like Paper Mario, it has like RTS,
Yeah, the quick time stuff.
a quick time for the attacks. You can dodge, you can parry. The game like really rewards you for parrying as well. So this looks really cool." And then, like Mike said, it was in the back of my mind. I kind of forgot about it. And then I saw, like Nicole said, a resurgence like the week before it came out. And this game is getting lauded like crazy. Not only is it a game that was made by like 30 people, so it's not a huge team. It costs like $50, so it's also not super.
Yeah, it's cheaper. It's not even
That's
like a full
crazy.
$60. It's $50. That's why I'm sorry. That's why I see Mario Kart and I'm like, as much as I love it, it's total BS that a game like Mario Kart costs like $80 when like this game has like superb voice talent, music talent, all like the fireworks, whatever we call it.
You mean somebody going Mario 85
Yeah,
times isn't
and,
superb
yeah.
voice talent?
And like, don't get me wrong, I totally get Mario Kart has the quality behind it. I think, again, I'm trying so hard not to get into the rant, but I think like seeing this for $50 and Mario Kart for $80,
It stings. It stings.
And to Mike's point about respecting your time, like even though Xenoblade is a great game and there's a lot to do, like I said, it gets kind of overwhelming. Like I just pulled up how long to beat, and Xenoblade X Definitive, like again, obviously how long to beat averages out like user ratings. It averages out the main story could be as much as like 60 hours, and then if you do
60
like 6D for
60.
Xenoblade.
for the main
But,
story? That doesn't seem accurate.
Well, no, I'm saying like if you were to rush the main story, you probably could get it done within like 60 hours. But obviously, we're doing side quests and stuff, because then it gets to like you do main and extra stuff. It could get you up to 86 hours completion.
I feel like it's
100.
60 with the side quest. That's what I'm trying to say. I feel like the main story I could probably get done in less than 20.
Maybe, yeah. I
The
mean,
ending does go on a little
like,
long from what I remember, if that helps at all.
Yeah, but like basically between like main story and like completion, it's like you can go anywhere from like 60 to like 150 or whatever. Maybe
Okay,
to
yeah,
close to,
yeah.
like, a little less. Claire Obscure 33 basically says with user averages like, the main story, between main story to completionist could take you like 25 to 60 hours. Like
Yeah.
it's a shorter RPG, so it respects your time more. And I will say, to Mike's point, this is definitely for sure, and we're only in May, this is going to be nominated for Game of the Year. It probably could win it. Obviously, other games like Split Fiction and Kingdom Come, and obviously
it's a tough year because like GTA is gonna come out. It's like
GTA will probably win, but like
I can see this getting like best music, for example. Like I can see it taking like sneaking in.
It's gonna take something, yeah. I will say this. Oh, go ahead, Brian.
Oh, I was gonna say last point is that if you look at Metacritic as well, and Metacritic obviously, like, sometimes people like review bomb games and whatnot. This is having the opposite effect. Like, critics have given it like a 92, so it's currently, as of today, it's the highest rated game so far in 2025.
Wow.
And then additionally, out of 5,900 user ratings, it's at 9.7. So like, I mean, this game is getting lauded. I know Nicole brought a good point. Do I wait for Switch 2? I could just wait for Switch 2 if it comes to that. For me, honestly, I could see this like moving.
Well, you have a PS5, so if you wanted to, you have a PS5.
Right. So
if you wanted to play it, I would just say PS5.
Right. So once I beat Xenoblade X, obviously Switch 2's coming out, but like, I can also then just move up and get Expedition 33 on the PS5.
Yeah. Like I think Alex might do that. But one thing I wanted to say too is I'm noticing that because these indie games that are cheaper, right, they're generally shorter than the AAA games. I think things are trending back down to a shorter time span with games. Like I think a lot of games are for a while it was like, oh, you get 10, 15 hours out of a game, cool. And then these long RPGs with like 80, 90 hours of main story, it's like that was the hot thing. I think people are getting sick of that. Not every game you pick up do you want it to be near 100 hours of gameplay. I mean, that's just too much.
Like with Rebirth, I really do wish it was sort of like the first game remake, where it's like you have like a main story to follow, and because again, I don't want to get like too into this because I really did enjoy it, but I really like the story beats, but it was so cluttered. With all the side stuff. Like it was too much. And I'm not even talking about like the mini games, but Expedition 33 so far really good because they have like an open world and they have like stuff to find on the side, but the story's still very focused on it. You
That's
don't feel
good.
like you're pulled away from it too much. When you do the side stuff, it's always like interesting or something. Or you feel like rewarded, you found something or did something.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's just because like people are not interested in that type of like long form content anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think games, and generally games that are shorter, like I know they're not better because they're shorter, but generally games that are shorter are just more polished. It's just they're better quality. Like the stories are generally better. I mean, look at Dredge. I know Dredge isn't a story based game, but I mean that was like
it kind of is.
It kind of is. I mean, it was like what 12 hours of gameplay. That was some of the most fun 12 hours I've had in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, did you play Dredge?
The Metroid game?
No, the ship game. You like fished? You were in the ocean?
Oh no, yes, I remember.
Not Dredge.
Yeah, I heard Dread.
Oh, sorry, Dredge.
I know we're not saying Metroid anymore. No, I haven't, but I know you guys really enjoyed it.
I recommended it to Ryan, and Ryan loved it actually.
It's fun, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's sort of like Assassin's Creed's the most guilty with it, right? Where it's like, oh,
yeah, she's inflated for no reason.
But collect 100 flags and you get something. You get like an armor or
it's like okay
or something.
Yeah.
You
need some type of like matrix where it's like on one axis it's like how long the game is, and then like on another axis it's like how pricey it is, and like what's like the best bang for your buck, but then also like separately how good a game is, because again, like Mike said, this game costs $50 and you're gonna get a great experience out of it, and it's not that long, and it's really great, and it's not over bloated.
Yeah.
And then like obviously I'm obviously biased, but like you're gonna have some of those games like Hollow Knight, which is an incredible game. I paid like on the Switch like $15 for it, and I got like 80-90 hours out of it.
Yeah.
Like, that's like a really good sweet spot. So
I mean, it's sort of like at the end of the day, it's like I know it's all opinion based, but it's sort of like what do you want to get out of the game? Because it's like as much as I love like Zelda Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, like they do a good job with their open world, right? Where it's like, okay, you're running around, you explore things, but are people interested in that? Like as much as I like the underground area, I did feel like most of that could have been like that felt like was a bit bloated too, because it's like, oh, get all the light things in the caves and get like a trophy for it.
Yeah, it's like It honestly just felt like bloat. Like, I didn't play the game, but like when I saw it and then I heard that that's all you kind of got for it, I was like,
yeah, because going in the underground was really really cool.
I was just gonna say it's
they added, like, a
cool.
whole map basically.
Yeah.
And not that it felt rushed or like put in. Like it did a good job, and like I feel like that's sort of the line, right? Where it's like, okay, it is getting a bit bloated. Like you don't have to do it. Nothing's forcing you to. Yeah, I wish there was a better reward for doing it all. But is it necessary? Is it good that it's just there? Like that's sort of like ask the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mike, I'm actually so glad you brought up the underground because I just saw a tweet about that the other day, and I wanted to bring it up on the podcast because, again, like Mike said, obviously $80 for Mario Kart, we can still debate it. It's still a little crazy, and like when Expedition can be $50.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a tweet because people were already looking at how big the file sizes are for some of these games.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Nintendo obviously has gotten very great at compression. Like the Switch 2 version of Breath. By the way, and this makes no sense to me, the Switch 2 version of Tears of the Kingdom is 19.9 gigs, so just 20 gigs.
Okay.
Breath of the Wild Switch 2 edition is 24 gigs. I don't know how Breath of the Wild is bigger than Tears of the Kingdom. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that is a bit weird.
Maybe they just optimized it better because it was the second game that came out on a Switch.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though, and this goes back to Mike's point about Underground. Mario Kart World is 23.4 gigabytes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, it could all be optimization, but the fact that that is bigger than Tears of the Kingdom, which has 3 full maps, I really am going to be optimistic here. Maybe I'm smoking the copium, but I'm wondering if they really are holding back and they're like, there's more to this game than we're showing you. And obviously, like, they had maybe little teasers here and there, and maybe it's like when you drive around the world, maybe it really is a lot to do and where they're just not seeing it. And for all we know, there could be other maps, maybe obviously DLC continents, because Underground, Mike, I didn't realize this until someone said it on Twitter and I completely forgot. Nintendo never revealed the Underground.
Oh yeah, you're right. That was a surprise. I forgot about that.
Really?
So in the trailers for Tears of the Kingdom, they showed you like
above and the sky and everything.
Here's the sky, here's Link's abilities, Ultra Hand. Here, like, and you can, and they advertise you can explore the sky. In the trailers, they showed a couple underground shots, but everyone on Twitter was like, "Oh, those are caves. Like, you can maybe explore some caves and whatnot." Not until the game launched did people realize, "Oh shit, you can go underground. And there's a whole other map underground."
Yeah, that's cool.
So I'm wondering if Nintendo's like, you know what? Maybe let's, because I know Nicole, we talk about Sun and Moon revealed way too much. Sometimes companies reveal way too much. I'm wondering if World is bigger than we think, and maybe that will justify it, but we'll see.
The only thing I'm worried about, again, I don't want to be like a doubter because I'm on top of this. I love this. I feel like they would have to show it. Not that there's like, oh, we need to sell the systems, because obviously they don't. But I think if they're really pushing $80 games, I would think they would want to be like, this is why it's $80.
I can see both. I can see both arguments, because you're right, because it's like so many people are already complaining about it, you know. Why not?
Not that it's gonna affect anything. Like this pre-orders prove it.
I mean, everything sold out instantly, so
like,
clearly
they can show like just the cow and like that's it. That's $80.
The cow, dude. I didn't realize they put Mii's in the game.
People thought this was going to be a Wii U part 2.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Listen, you can hate the prices all you want. You can be upset. You could be whatever. If anybody legitimately thought this was going to be a Wii U situation, I have a bridge to sell you, because this is literally just like that is just blatant ignorance. I'm sorry. You have to be sleeping under a rock for the last 5 years to think that this was going to be anything but a success. I didn't think it was going to be this level of success. Like, I think a lot of it has to do with
hit a little bit.
Yeah, like here's the thing is I thought it was going to do well. I think the tariffs helped sell more, because now people are like, I'm going to buy it before the tariffs come in. So in a way that actually helped Nintendo.
Who sent it before? I think it was Ryan that sent it, where it's like, oh, the Xbox is like going up in price now. Like,
oh, I sent it. Yeah, Xbox and PlayStation.
Nicole sent it.
We can get it. We don't have the time to get into this rant, but
I know, but that's sort of it too. That sort of proves that like the Switch 2 like is not going down in price. Right?
No, it's not.
That was my big thing to get it now too, where it's like it's not going down in price. It's only gonna literally go up if the Xbox that people aren't really even buying is going up in price.
Yeah. Again, I'm gonna, and for like Nicole said, the people who really thought this was going to be a massive failure, and like, oh my god, there was a lot of pre-orders. I want to reiterate again, the Wii U sold 13 million. The Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch alone sold 60 million.
That's insane.
Not even close.
Like,
That's insane.
I mean, this obviously, like, I know the Switch has sold lifetime like 151 million, so it's closing in on the PS2 for the record. I don't think Switch 2 will be that successful. I don't think it'll sell as much because obviously it's a sequel system. But I mean, this is gonna be a very successful system for sure.
Yeah.
It already is, basically.
Yeah, it already, first of all, like I said, I think it already beat expectations, and I think a lot of that is actually not even related to the Switch 2. I mean, I think it's going to be a genuinely good product, and I think people are excited for it, but I don't think the pre-orders would have been this much of a mess if it wasn't for the fact that people were afraid, oh no, if I don't get it now, I might have to pay $600 for a Switch.
Especially when they made accessories go up already.
Yeah, I mean, and I did pick up some of the accessories, I won't lie, but... Yeah, I'm actually kind of glad they kind of put the price on the accessories over the Switch, because your old Switch accessories will work with this. So let's just get the hands of the new console in people's, or get the console in people's hands, and then go from there. Yep. But anyway, we're out of time. Do you guys have anything else you want to add?
I think that's everything, at least from my end.
Yeah, no, I think we covered a good amount from the last couple weeks.
Yeah, it's a good recap.
I have one thing I want to add. This is a hot take, early prediction.
Ooh, okay.
I think we're going to get something Pokemon Sun and Moon related in the next year or two. Yeah. Maybe 2 years.
Like,
no, okay. Have you guys noticed that they've really been pushing Sun and Moon with like across all their games? Pocket just came out with Sun and Moon stuff, which isn't like, okay, so they were going through and they had a black and white set, right? Wouldn't the next progression be X and Y, especially with ZA coming out?
I mean, they have been a little random, to be honest.
I know, but then also Go had an event last year for it. Okay. And I don't know, like, but, and last thing, Zygarde, right? The Zygarde story started in X and Y, right?
Yes.
When was the next time you saw Zygarde? Sun and Moon.
Okay.
I'm just saying, the next Legends game might be Sun and Moon.
Sun and Moon, actually, now that I think about it, that really was like when Zygarde really got explored in terms of the lore. Because I think in X and Y, you only really got Zygarde in Terminus Cave in the post game, and that's really all you got.
Yeah. Well, that's what people always thought is like always coming back in Z.
Yeah.
Well, not until Sun and Moon was it like, let's collect the Zygarde cores. And now when you make them, he gets to 10%, then 50%, then 100%. So they really fleshed it out in Sun and Moon, not even in X and Y. So
I'm just saying, I think we're still going to get those black and white remakes, but I think we're going to see Sun and Moon stuff. And the other reason, and then last thing, I promise. Okay. If you notice, we haven't had any of those, what are the Ultra Beasts? That's just been missing out of Pokemon for a bit.
Yeah, I just dropped them.
I think there were some of them. Well, I think some of them were in Sword and Shield, I think. But that was like, okay, that's the generation after. So, like, that kind of makes sense, right? Like, we have Calyrex right now. But I don't know. I feel like the Tapus have to come back.
Yeah. Maybe.
I'd rather see the Tapus than the Ultra Beasts.
Oh, true. Yeah, they're not Ultra Beasts.
We can't get on another tangent. I was never a big Ultra Beast fan, honestly.
Yeah, same. I liked Kartana and Celesteela.
I feel like it needed to be explored more, to be honest.
Too many people whined.
To be fair, I didn't finish Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, so I'm also like not really like equipped to talk about it. But
all right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry, it's gonna be a shorter episode, but like I am beat. But we'll be back next week. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We won't be back next week because I'm not doing PokeApp next week because I'm going to be away. So in 2 weeks, I don't know which podcast we're doing, but we're doing a podcast.
There will be a podcast.
There will be a podcast. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, if you enjoy it, leave a like on YouTube, a little subscribe-y. Come hang out with us in the Twitch chat. Yeah, button somewhere down there.
Yeah.
Mike has to do it. He's on the bottom.
Oh, yeah, right there. Right. Hold on. There.
And yeah, thanks Jen for stopping by. Thank you Lunch Tray for stopping by. All the people that support us. Thank you for the subs. And we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye everyone.